Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report, and I'm here with Kaiser to talk to you today about a few things going on. One is, for the first time in my life, I went yesterday and voted early. I always wait till day of voting to do that, but this is a new thing for me, and I was quite surprised at the amount of people that were gathered there in line waiting to vote for early voting. So people are aware and they're listening. And I was speaking with one of the poll watchers there yesterday who said that the first day that opened up, which was, I believe, the 16th of October here in Tennessee, they were well over 1,000 people that came for the first day of early voting, and it continued to show even more the second and third day, and then they had a break for the weekend, and of course on Monday I went and cast my vote, as well as some of my family members did the same, and I feel like we need to get out and do the early vote and not wait till day of election so they can manipulate things, or even worse, a big October surprise comes out of this White House that can't be trusted for anything. If you look at what's going on with the internal leaks out of the Pentagon that put the Israelis in jeopardy one more time, now they tell us this morning that the FBI will be investigating.
I'm confused.
What went on there? It doesn't give me a whole lot of good feeling that the FBI is going to investigate any kind of a leak or anything out of the Pentagon, White House, or otherwise, because look, they still haven't come up with a concrete reason for the two attempts on a past president's life that's out campaigning for presidency right now. What makes you think the FBI all of a sudden in the 7th floor up there is going to say, okay, let's do a true investigation on this, or just let it go?
This is insane.
Like they have done everything else. They've been weaponized. And I'm not talking about the rank and file members of the FBI that are out there every day doing a good job. I'm talking about the politicized heads of these three-letter agencies that have been corrupted by the Democratic machine that has been in power far too long, in my estimation. In the meantime, you have the Democratic candidate that is out there continuing to flip-flop on what her stance is on everything from fracking to the border. And now she's hiring people that are heavily radicalized on climate change. That came out today. And as well as Walls hiring somebody that is hell-bent on this critical race theory that's being put through the school systems, and he's hiring somebody to take over the education portion that is a radicalized person in this genre.
Come on.
So we have all that going on. As of today, we're 2 weeks away from what is going to be the most important election in our lifetime. And as far as saving this country, it's going to be one of the most important. We have to take a critical look at what they are saying and recognize what propaganda is being put forth by your media outlets that are lying and in some cases fabricating stuff and trying to get away with twisting every word someone says to benefit their talking points or go against the person that they do not want elected.
Radical.
Mainstream media and the press has been weaponized by the Democratic machine to go against their opponent, which in this case is Donald J. Trump, and we all know about Trump derangement syndrome. I personally think what they're talking about the most is this McDonald visit where he went in and tried to learn a little bit about French fries. I know why it was done. It was done tongue-in-cheek, and I found it quite amusing, and I think it was a brilliant idea on his part to do that. While the other one is running around telling Christians that they have to leave her venues, and I don't know what that's about, but I have a pretty damn good idea of who's behind that. And who made you do that? The devil? Yes. But we have a turning back to God in this country taking place right now, and it's about time that happened. What else is going on is the Israel situation keeps going on. We have wink and blink and a nod flying around. One's in Israel, and then we have Lloyd Austin. We know now where he is for a change. He's over in the Ukraine. Why are we continuing to push these agendas during an election? I don't know, but stop and think about what's going on with regard to North Korea lending troops into Russia. It's not going to get any better for the Ukrainian people unless Zelensky decides to come to a table and negotiate a ending to this war that's going on that should not be going on, and our participation in it monetarily, equipment-wise, and now who knows what Lloyd Austin is going to go and convince them that they need, or what more will we be giving them to poke that stick into the bear's cage of Russia.
What a maroon.
It's not a good situation, and I've told you this before. You need to pray for a ceasefire there, an ending to the conflict is over nothing more than the Donbass region, which is what we had negotiated previously with Putin and the Ukraine, and Biden decides to send Boris Johnson over there and ripped up that agreement, and then the war ensued. So there is the truth of the matter, and I think that same or a similar negotiation can be handled by the right people that know how to do these things, and that is not Anthony Blinken or Lloyd Austin or any other of these cabinet of clowns that are running around and doing nothing to put an end to anything other than what Joe Biden decides while laying on the beach should be done. We're pushing buttons that we don't need to be pushing right now because that can trigger very easily World War III. Stop and think about the fact that North Korea is going to put troops on the ground in Russia to help in that war. And now Iran is going to meet with these people as well. So they'll get involved and they'll get backing out of Russia and North Korea to continue the bombardment of Israel. It doesn't take a genius to know that somebody better that knows what to do needs to sit down at a round table with these people and get an end and a cessation to the conflicts that are flaming right now, and help our ally that is now standing alone to protect the Western Front against these people. And now we're threatening to hold back more weaponry because he didn't listen to what Biden's advice was? Listen, Netanyahu is doing the job that needs to be done, and we should support it because it's our closest ally and our protection against despots like Iran and Palestine that want to see an end and a death to America. And the propagandists that are our mainstream media are guilty as hell in helping promote what will end up being a World War III. We need to get a handle on this. And there's only one person running for office right now that has the backbone and the wherewithal to do that, because his opponent obviously has shown us that she's part of the problem. There is no solution on their plate. We know that we have to make an attempt to try to do something. We also know that we should make an attempt because there are two caravans heading toward our southern border of a couple of thousand more people that want to get in just in case the Biden administration doesn't survive this election. So they want to get in before that happens. So the solution there would be right now, with an executive order, close the border. But that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen under Biden, and it certainly will not happen under Harris. But it better happen, and it better happen soon, because we are one step away from somebody pulling something here that will be catastrophic. Another 9/11 from within, and this administration has allowed that, no matter what lies they try to tell you that it's all Trump's fault, is not true. Most of what they tell you, they're losing their minds over there at MSNBC and CNN right now just over the McDonald visit. This is what they feel is news and worthy of telling the American population lie after lie about what Donald Trump says and what he's going to do. How do they know that? Do they have a crystal ball? He's never said the things that they accuse him of saying. And yet they're every day pumping that propaganda into the American public, and that should need to be held responsible for that. They are solely responsible, and the administration, along with the media, of riling up people, telling them that their opponent is a danger. He is a radical, needs to be dealt with. It needs to have a target on his back. And then what happens? There's 2 attempts on his life from weak-minded individuals that have been recruited either by foreign adversaries or our own 3-letter agencies, because the investigations have not been completed in a fashion to let us know if that is true or otherwise.
You hearing this?
Propaganda is propaganda, and you better learn how to recognize the difference. When you go into, as I do, the Australian news network and foreign news networks, you actually get stories about what's really happening around the world, not dyed up, redacted junk that we get fed by the mainstream media in this country, and that includes Fox. Fox is a little bit more in the truth zone than the rest of them, but not always. You have some people there that are anti-Republican, anti-America as well. But I am very, very pleased to see the amount of people that are out for early voting. And I urge you, if you have been thinking about waiting until the 5th of November, the day to vote, I would really rethink that and get out to your, if you have early voting going on right now in your state, get out and cast your vote. I'm sure most of you have already made up your minds on which way you're going, so get out and do it. And if you have neighbors and you have relatives that need a ride to a polling station, do it. If you have friends that are on the fence about which way to go, sit down and have a conversation. Tell them what you're thinking.
It's showtime.
Put them on to the Truth Network, Truth Social. Put them on to YouTube. There's a lot of us here on YouTube that are crying out the truth to you and pulling apart what mainstream media is trying to feed us in propaganda and sift through the truth. You have somebody that they're accusing now of being exhausted and not being able to show up anywhere, and that is an out-and-out lie. You must know that because every time you turn on the TV, you see him at a different venue talking to people in barbershops, in a McDonald's store, on TV with the morning show with Fox. And this is the day or the morning after he went to the Al Smith dinner, which his opponent was afraid to show up with, and then comes out the next day and says he's afraid to have a debate. Well, there was her chance for a debate, which a large number of people in the United States were tuning in for, and she decided to mail it in with some skit from Saturday Night Live that was insulting at best and did nothing to help her numbers at all. And they don't see it because they believe that they have this thing in the bag, and they do not. Unless they have some huge cheating mechanism that we haven't realized yet, I believe that the people in this country know what they're going to the grocery store, and what they need at the grocery store is costing them 35% more than it used to, and they see it. They see it every time they pull into the gas station to fill their car. They see it when they're buying a home and the interest rate is through the roof. And they see it when they have to do home repairs or hire a carpenter or hire a plumber, that it is through the roof. This is what the American people see, not what mainstream media is telling them is happening, not the lies that come out of our administration telling us that everything is just fine. The economy is booming when we're out there buying groceries every day. When's the last time you think any of these politicians go to a store and worry about paying for anything? They're lining their pockets. They're getting paid by lobbyists, pharmaceutical companies, war machine companies, you name it. There's a lobbyist that will give them anything they want to vote their way. And this is what needs to be cleaned up. That is the swamp that needs to be cleaned up. You need to vote early. I'm afraid that we're going to have a major something happening on or around Election Day to keep people out of voting. So get out early, vote early, and if you're a Democrat, you'll vote often, I'm sure, and so will your dead relatives. But we know that game now, and they're looking out for that, and we need to be looking out, as the poll watcher did yesterday when I came to the door, when it was my turn to walk into the room to vote. I had to show my driver's license. They looked at it, they checked it, they talked to you and ask you what your, how your day is. This is what it should be like throughout every state here. And you filled out a paper ballot and put it into a machine that would count it and push it through, and you get an I voted sticker on your way out. It's a simple process. You got to do it. This is an important election. Get out and vote early. And if you need a ride and you're in East Tennessee, let me know. I'll come get you and take you to a poll. Not a hard thing to do. And we need you to get out and tell us what you think by casting a vote. And of course, you can always comment here on the bottom and let me know what you're thinking and how you believe this election is going to go. I would love to hear from you. So give us a comment. And it's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, one more time. And we're going to be here on the farm all day today, Kaiser and I. And we're going to wish everyone out there a great, happy Tuesday. I don't have any great memes for you today, but tomorrow is another day, and we'll see what we can come up with this afternoon while I'm processing and editing some material. So hang in there for the Kaiser Report on Wednesday, tomorrow, and we'll be back with you to cover whatever happens today in the news and whatever tall tales are being spun by the Democratic machine against their opponent. And it's like a war here between these two. And one lies, the other swears to it, and we have to figure it all out. But we do have two distinct track records to look at. And where the country was, were you better off 4 years ago than you are today? And the answer to that, and unless somebody is lying to you, is no, you're not. So use that as a template to make your decision, if nothing else. But please don't vote on personality, because neither of them have a personality that I would like to sit and have dinner with for various reasons on either side. But we do have a lesser of two evils, and this is an important thing to think about. So with that, Kaiser and I are going to say have a great rest of this Tuesday. God bless you, and stay strong, stay safe, and stay tuned into the Kaiser Report. And we'll see you back here on Wednesday morning. Bye-bye now.